That's better. Now we don't have that annoying music in the background. Hello, everybody. Day late, dollar short. We here with the event talk, the breakout, all that good jazz. So, as much as they've been blowing it up, I didn't see anything added in the little news feed. So, let's just look at the overall event. First column, this is a faction spin event. So where y'all end up, where you end up, there's some reward points, right? Really good stuff at the end. This one is a faction grind event. Excuse me. All right. So this one, this last little thing down here shows that if you grind out the event, you get points. These, you cannot use auto clear tickets. Keep that in mind. The very last line, you have to actually play the matches. You want to try to find somebody that'll just sit there and auto through it and just sit there and tap, tap, tap. Also, inside of this, you will notice that they have these auto clear options. Again, this is not giving my faction any points. But you want to do that because you see the payout for these, right? They're actually really good. And there's only a few of these a year where it's so annoying. You just sit there and just tap. Tap, 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 tap-a-rooey. Okay? What are we doing with those? We're coming to this little loot wall. Inside you have Orton. You have AJ. All good cards. Dom with gear. And some good moments. Everything in here is good. Even your extras. There's some, what you call it, prize wall tokens. There's some straps. 99.9% of us are going to get prize wall tokens. And low amounts, right? It's not anything huge. But if you're able to get like 500 out of here, or, a couple thousand, again, there's nothing else to really spend those little loot icons for. What are they called? The auto clear tickets for. So a lot of coin built into there, and it stacks really quick. Also some TP and whatnot. So definitely a resource grind more so than anything, but you can get a really nice card out of it. It is possible. Okay. Now, let's look at what else is in that faction task. You're going to want to play Stipulation on normal, hard, and hell mode every day. And then once Showdown starts on Wednesday, then you will want to grind that Showdown. All of that adds up to this. Prize wall medallions. This is a very good chest with a potential chance at a 6-star gold poster. Or some decent shard amounts for any of these characters. Right, it's not your typical 20 or 50. They start at 100, which 100 is just, two characters, Eddie and Muda. This is a medallion for the current moment. So there is a moment. Let's go hop over to that now that we've seen what we've got to do for our faction. Oops, wrong hole. There we go. This moment actually makes everybody on it very good. Okay? Even this guy. You need his gear, but if y'all haven't noticed, they're starting to tiffy him. What do I mean by that? He's got a really strong gear. Tiffy, it took, two gears. He's got 3 moments now. Once you start putting all the pieces together, he starts to become pretty good. If you got all the bells and whistles, he's actually really good. It's just one of those that his low end is really fucking low. I mean, really low. Most of us just did not like him whenever he came out. He's okay with gear and a nearing end and the KO plate with a decent sized strap, 150 kind of deal, maybe 200. You're going to be looking somewhere around maybe 120 million for a 2-click option. If you add the rumble, even more. So there is that, a green rumble or his plate. So he is starting to get better. Again, they're giving him the Tiffy treatment. But all of these are Tekken characters, quote unquote, because they all have gears for Tekken. So we're going to look at the prize wall here in just a moment. But if you have Eddie, the new Eddie, then you are able to do, let's see, Lie, Cheat, Steal, Hell mode, where they have a second token. So then you only need to buy 2 of the moment tokens to unlock that moment. Again, that moment is very strong for everybody on it. Very strong. We also don't know if we're going to have an option to get that moment going forward. Of course, that's where the FOMO comes in, right? Scopely putting that out there. But the problem is after the Turtle event, you never saw their moment again. Rocky, now that it's done, that moment's gone, and it was only available during Rocky events. Let's see, which other one? The zombie ones are only available when they do zombies. It's the stupidest shit ever that Scopely does, but they do it to create FOMO to get you to spend. That is their goal. They're very good at it for, especially when it comes to me. I can tell you that, but it is one of those that's their intention. Again, $60. Is it worth it? Up to you. I've bought Megas and got nothing, so to me, the $60 is worth it. But that's everybody's, each their own. Hang on real quick before we jump into the prize wall. We'll just go ahead and look at the individual event. They gave out some points already. If you haven't checked your mailbox, check your mailbox. You should have a letter from the dev team up here. It was saying something like it started off to a rocky start or something like that. Here's some points. Here's some prize wall. Okay, make sure you collect that, as you don't want to miss out on that. It was like 3,000 prize wall. It's not nothing. Okay, especially once we get down to the prize wall, you'll see why every little bit counts. All right, the individual. So 28 milestones. You got your keys. You've got your these boxes, which these boxes are different than the one we showed before. This one happens to have the gear for Eddie in it. So there is the possibility, not a guarantee, but it is a possibility. Some shards for the S plus tiers and a couple of the S tiers. Pretty good boxes for sure. This has prizewall currency. Only 4 in the last milestone. That seems low. Some tier 6 medals. A lot of resources. 50 million coin right there. 10,000 TP. Really good milestone. Not worried too much about the keys. But then you've got a little bit of love spread out throughout the milestones. Okay? For the time being, they've put these spend events on there. I'm waiting until Wednesday before I do any of that. There is a daily spend where you can get... you only got to spend 1 coin per day, but this resets daily. This one right here, hang on. 1 coin per day gets you 75k. It's about $1 a day. Is it worth it? I don't know. Usually if you do 1 mega, you're going to max it. If you don't, you're still going to get pretty far ahead. With the contest points, there's a good chance you might just do so regardless. All right. Showdown, they're already showing you the Showdown characters. That's any Eddie Guerrero right here. They had some reworks. They're not good, but hopefully there's some kickers to help us along the way. Any Ray, Armor King. Armor King's going to be the hardest if you don't have his gear. For sure, because like the Green Weenie, without gear, Armor King is not very good. With it, he's fantastic. Green Weenie, that's an Iron Sheik thing. Shout out to him. It's he does not like Ray. Don't know why. He just does not like Ray. Randy Orton, man, that one's going to be tough. I hope they got some good things to help us along with that. And then we've got some lady stuff to do with Rhea. Specifically, Mommy's on Top. Not any Rhea. Mommy's on Top has to be the brand of Rhea. And then Mamacita, AJ Styles. With him, you just got to win a match. Same with Randy. Same with Eddie. Same with Joe Hendry. Same with Uncle Howdy. Same with Muda. I got a decent chance. I'm only missing really a good Randy. I have the shit Randy. And then Joe Hendry. But these are just going to help speed you along the way for sure to get to that last milestone. And then, of course, you want to do these tasks here of defeat the boss, Battle of the Beats Blitz. So make sure you get your blitzes done as you get points for that as well. Okay, on to our prize wall. Let me get my little pin. Here we go. All right. We're going to start at the top and work our way down. And this is what's new. Make 20 traps, break 20 gems. Excuse me, I said that completely wrong. Break 20 traps, break 49 black gems. It's going to generate and destroy 49 black gems, okay? That is basically the Aussie play in an ultimate. It's exactly what it is, by the way. Whenever you make 6 or more submission gems, increase all your move damage by 200% for 2 turns. Our Tekken gear is going to be it's 250% for Eddie. We'll look at the gears here in just a second. And Panda is move damage plus 250. Oh wait, it says it at the top. No, Kuma gear does not. Okay. Panda gear 250% move damage to China. If you get the moment, you're not going to be running that, so it might be a less desirable gear. The moment increases her multiply gems. It's really stankin' strong. I just can't see running her move damage if you get the moment. But it is a lot cheaper. Almost, what's that, 8K cheaper than the Kuma gear, which could lead you to get something else. All right. These are the plates from the last event. It's the Electric Wind Godfist. This is for Ray. It makes him very good. Still needs the gear. Still needs gear. Do not forget that. Okay? And this one is designed for Dom, where you generate 49 yellow gems at the end of your turn. So this needs gear. I like the yellow rumble better, because I actually have an opportunity to proc the yellow rumble twice, whereas with this one we do not. This is sub gameplay. And then I want y'all to notice that you actually, for the first time, have an option to get 2 of these plates, of any of these plates on the wall. That's the first time I've ever noticed that. Those are the plates. These are priority. Even though I'm headed toward, you never know when you need that first gear in order to get a second. This is why. This is why the gears are going to be priority. And that's any of the Tekken gears. That is these 2 gears up top. That includes these 3 gears here. All of these plates are interchangeable with rumbles, besides this one. This is the exception to the rule. You determine if you need that bow tie or not. You know, it's up to you. Again, it's a sub plate. It's if I'm trying to move damage, I'm 2-clicking. I'm not running the sub. So there's that. But again, I'm drawing an X on these. All of them are interchangeable with the rumbles, right? So the rumbles don't make as many, so you get 49 instead of 30 with these plates. But it's still just one of those that the gears are the get for me. Coming down here, absolutely not. Absolutely not. This, certain factions are going to be able to get this for free. It's the top whatever. I don't remember if it was top 3 or something like that. Top 2, top 3, top 10. Don't know. Let's find out. There's no reason not to know, right? Let's see. That is a reward here. Rank, rewards. It's only the top 3. Wow. It's whatever, Scopely. It's not that good of a gear. It looks like it should be, but the problem is his damage doesn't really come from the over damage of the trap. It's purple, which is less. His focus is drawn toward yellow. Regardless, it's yeah, wrong wall. Back to here. Okay, so Ray without his gear is unusable. With it, he's actually pretty good. Especially now. I'm not huge on either of these 2, though, to be honest. I have the Ray gear. I don't use it. There are people that do. I don't see it a whole lot come feud time. I don't know what it is with it. You can 2-click with it. It's strong, right? But I just, whenever I go to pick my text, I don't think of Ray. And maybe that's a mistake, you know, but regardless. Okay. Next, we have this gear. I want this one. Armor King is trash without it. He'll hit like 150 million with it. He hits like 20 million or 50 million without it, maybe. He hits like a wet noodle without this gear. It's plus 22 to our multiplies with him. Of course, it doesn't say there, but it is a good gear. The downfall with Armor King is that you have to use wild hype. So you do have to go out of your way a little bit. There was some offered during his initial release. It wasn't much. It was enough to basically get him to 1. That was about it. Again, hype ruining the game for us. Rage Plate, there's just too many other places to get the Rage Plate. It's a really inexpensive plate on other walls. It's only a 50%er. It's decent on a handful of people, but there's just better places to get that from. This plate gives 100% to yellow whenever you create Juggernaut gems. 108%. I don't know where they got that 108. That might be a reference to something with Tekken. I don't know, but it's a shit plate. It's really only good on Tiger King. That's it. Now we get on to some really good plates. And honestly, all of them. There's a slight exception to the rule for this guy. There's a slight exception because this plate is very, very rare. But here's the thing. All these plates are fantastic. They're the best plates in the game. They're fantastic. Ooh, besides this one, right? This is just trash. Why is that 29,000? Anyways, that is just a random piece of garbage thrown in there. I guess the creative team didn't get creative. The Starcross was just offered for really cheap on the previous prize wall from the weekend. It's in the month-long MLC prize wall for really inexpensive. There's no reason to pay the $29K for it. That is just wasteful. They don't have the snowfall plate, so yeah. All of these plates, though, are very good, especially this top 4. This top area is fantastic. The thing is, we don't know if we're getting another Tekken event. There was only 2 turtle events. There's rarely more than 2 events. So we want to focus toward the Tekken gear because after that, these are characters that are in-game, going to be still in-game. China, Eddie, and all that, they can add to them after this event. And if you don't have this first gear, then when they release, if and when they release a second gear for those characters, you're not going to be able to access the ability for it from not having the first gear. You're pretty safe on Armor King, only getting the 1 gear. And it's one of those that with him, while it makes him very good, it might be the Leo effect. While he's good for this meta, but maybe not the next because they haven't come out with anything new, not planning to come out with anything new for him. So everything else on this prize wall does not matter. Now, if you have extra, okay, so Armor King is at 18K. Kazama is at 11.2. Let's see, anything else that's low, that's it. So we're going to say at the 11.2 and below, I'm going to go, if you already have, we're going to start if you already have the Dom gear, and you've got, call it 15K left. That's where we'll kick off here. If you've got the backpack plate, this is a good partner for it. It's mainly a cleanup plate. It's not as good as a Rumble. I thought it might work really well for Eddie with the backpack plate and all the new things. Merrick's ran it last night. The variance is about almost 30 million, depending on if you hit or if you miss. So keep that in mind with these mini Rumbles, but they are good cleanup plates, especially if you pair them with a strong ultimate. So, like, this one is really good with the backpack plate. This one is really good on somebody like Trish Stratus, who, gets so much hate in this game, but can do 170 million if you've got this plate, if you've got the snowfall plate and you run the traps. I think she does like 140 million if you don't run the traps. She's very, very strong. And comparable with China, depending on what you have for China, as far as being the strongest attitude. It's what's her butt's not even in the conversation anymore, really. Who's it? Miss Jacqueline. And Jacqueline actually just got interesting with a sub build. We're going to look at that later. But the red plate, very good, especially if you're able to pair it with a snowfall plate or a, something strong, right? A cross break. X-Break, any of those big plates. The botch, get it elsewhere. The botch slapped. If you did not get one of these off of the previous weekend wall, with Showdown getting to where it's just being stupid, with Rhea's almost, if you've got the new hulked up Santa at 6-star gold, if you went ahead and got that $40 offer, and you've got everything for Rhea, I think she's getting close to 800 million in health. A strong defensive plate like this, the Battleman armor, is really effective. This decreases your opponent's MP by 4 every time you create 8 or more botch gems. So we've got to find a way to defeat these Rheas, because their kick out, if they've got a Hall of Fame on there as a kick out, it's just stupid. So it doesn't matter if you hit 300 million to somebody that has 800 million in health, they're going to kick out. Having something like this allows us to continue moving forward after our hit. Same with the Judgment Day plate. Those plates are starting to gain some value, and we're seeing them come back onto these walls at a mid-range price. All of the rest of the plates down here, out of this category, the nearing end is really the only one worth mentioning, and that's a good plate for the Green Weenie up top, Rey Mysterio. Also really good on Penta. Who else? Hall of Fame Vader. There's a few homes for that plate. The rest of them are just going to be subpar and just your excess. I would get me a 6th nearing end, or I might even get a Queen's Tiara. Queen's Tiara is just 50%, and it's what? Whenever you do create multiplies, it increases your black gem damage by 50%. Nothing to write home about. It's just one of those that I have one on all my straps, and I don't feel like using the currency to remove it, so I'll just get a cheap one if I've got excess, right? We've got moments here. Again, once you've gotten your gears, that's when we look at this. Even once you've gotten your plates. This is all 4, so not a bad price for that. This one only needs the 1. And the rest of them only need the 1. All of them are very good, so if you're wanting to pass on the mini rumbles, I would encourage you to get these. These are going to come in handy, again, with these huge showdown healths. They're going to let us hit a lot harder. You might be able to gain 20 to 30 million on a character, right, just from that. But the moments come into play, they're really handy. They're all good moments. This is probably the weakest of the bunch, along with this maybe. I don't really find myself using anybody on that moment. But then you've got your straps, 200%. So this is one of those, if you've got extra, this is where you're going to spend it if you don't have enough for the next plate and you have all the moments. They're RNG straps, so keep that in mind. Then you got your resources. We don't need to waste time looking at resources or going over it. Okay. That's the event in a nutshell. Play the event, get prize wall. Good prize wall. Good prize wall. It seems to be paying out really well. I don't know if I might be at a slight advantage or not. I don't know. I don't know where you are, but I've got my eyes sight on this little guy because I really want a good Eddie. I'm very excited about the Eddie. I have the Eddie. I'm chasing all the things for the Eddie. I'm struggling to say if I'm going to go after the Panda gear or the King gear. I don't think there's anything special about Armor King besides his training ability. He's strong as shit with his gear, don't get me wrong. But he's a modern, so it's kind of one of those that don't really need a modern acro. I don't know if he's going to be any stronger than what I already have. He's just kind of fun to play. I don't remember if you could 2-click with him, though. The finisher, decrease your juggernauts by 2. I don't remember. I've got to look at him again. It's been a long time since I've played him. But overall, good event so far. The last event was kind of lackluster. This one seems really heavy with things to do. The other one was really not. And I think that's why it lost a lot of things. Here's your Blitz. You've got 2, right? If you've got Eddie, you're able to do this bonus Blitz and get some bonus items. Really, it's just these, I would love to get one of the gears out of this, though. Would be nice. I don't know if this refreshes daily. I hope it does. If not, you get... you'll end up doing 2 of these. These only cost 1, so you'll end up with 2 bags, which is what we had in the bonus. You just get the opportunity to get the gears. So there is that. It's a perk for having Eddie in China already. And I know, unfair. Look, we spent for it. You didn't get Eddie for free. 99% sure. So it's basically a thanks for buying kind of deal. Good event. A lot of really good resources. Focus on the gears. I can't encourage that enough. Again, the plates can be replaced with rumbles. They are not make or break. They're good. They're actually they are stronger than rumbles. That is for sure. But it's just kind of one of those where it's as we already said, one of them is an exact copy of the Aussie plate, I'm pretty sure. It might break a couple more than the Aussie plate, but very close as far as a reference goes. So that's the event breakdown. That's the prize wall. That's everything in a nutshell. We did not get any new players this go around. It's just gears. So nobody's missing out. But if you miss out on the gears after this, again, there's no guarantee at them in the future. And real quick, we do have this loot. Notice that there's a loot coming out. They already have the 50/50 stuff out in here. Notice everything already has its 50/50 equivalent. There's your additional moment tokens. You want to get all this from the portal, though. Get this from the portal. Do not buy it in here. Because in the portal, excuse me. No peeking at my passwords. All right. In the portal, you have bonus rewards. If you're spending, chances are you know about the portal. But we're going to go over it real quick. You've got bonus rewards that include prizewall medallions, and there's a strap right there. Okay, it's just a random 100 to 200%. So that's where you get your what's this one? 100 to 200. Yeah, you're gonna get a 200% legend trickster. So that's what you can expect, or your PG era striker. All those really good straps right there. But a decent chunk of prize wall at every spend. Then you also get additional resources down here. Plenty of coin, plenty of TP, things like that. So if you're going to spend, let's spend in the portal. And for those of us that are free to play, and everybody, don't forget to go and redeem the code that they have for the event. It is all caps, Tekken. Hello, Tekkens with K's, not J's. Tekken 2, like that. And it's got some TP and coin, decent amount actually. It's a good little starter chunk. So definitely do that, as you will get. See, you've already reached the coupon redemption limit. Anything else? Don't buy this. You don't get the 50-50 with it, right? Where you get this loot plus the next one. That's just wasteful. Any good offers? I haven't purchased anything. Anything with prizewall is always a good offer. But I like the 50-50s. I don't want the elite, right? And the elite, there's always a chance that you're going to end up with CM Punk. More CM Punk shit than anything else. And he is a free chase. So there's no reason to spend for that. This isn't bad. This has 6-star gold posters. This Ray is actually pretty good. He is a, what is it? Devil's Yeet person. But it comes with 40 hype for each of the characters. So this will at least get you to hype 2 on each of them. There's no loot coins. Somebody was asking about that. There's no loot coins. You're essentially buying some fuses along with some hype. You know, so that's what you're getting for $15 plus 200 million coin, 30,000 TP. Not a bad offer whatsoever. Of course, you could come down and just get the green weenie if you're wanting him, along with hype and 3 pulls, a little bit of prize wall for $10. I'm not going to advocate for Scopely making more money, though. Last but not least, in the Stip Tour, there's a bonus every day. All right. I use KO. KO shit the bed like he always does. Don't know why. I guess the ones with the traps. Second turn, he ended up not breaking enough, so I, again, shit the bed on this one. Let's see. This is slightly better. From what I understand, this one, yeah, 610, 629. I was told that this is not cumulative. I don't know that for a fact. I don't know how... Oh, yeah, we shit the bed on this one. Let's look at another one. Oh, wait, no. Hard. I don't know how you could hit that without it being cumulative. I'd have to relook at this or buy in one day. But there are rewards here where you get additional prize wall. You do have to be in the top 1,000 for this one. Hard is the top 500. Normal is the top 500. Okay. There is additional resources into that. You could buy back into those, not hell mode though. So is that. There is that. This does help out your faction though. So food for thought with that. And with that note, it is time for reset. I think that about covers everything. Yeah. Good luck to y'all. Hope y'all enjoy the event. Please get the gears. I know plates, but the gears, we are not guaranteed to get them again. And we don't know if a year down the road, Ray gets a second gear, Dom gets a second gear, Eddie gets a second gear, China gets a second gear, and you need that first one in order to unlock the potential of the second one. Not only that, but the Ray one, the Eddie one, the China one are all very strong options. The China one, again, I like her other build set better, but it is one of those that I am going to chase it if I'm able to get both of the two new gears. With the third one kind of being if I don't reach enough to get China. I don't know. I've got to look at that and decide, because I'd be passing on Armor King, which again very strong but does need a gear. I have not really seen anybody running him in feud. It doesn't mean much, it's we're kind of stuck in our ways when it comes to running feuds where we like so and so, we've invested so much into so and so, they're dependable kind of deal. So there is that, but please get the gears. It's do your best to get a gear. Later.